In the heart of the city, where neon lights cast eerie glows on rain-soaked pavements and whispers of the unknown danced through the air, I embarked on a journey that would forever haunt the corridors of my mind. My name? Just a fleeting whisper, for in the realm of late-night cravings and desperate appetites, I was known simply as the Nightfall Rider. Pedaling through the labyrinthine streets, my bicycle's tires whispered secrets to the asphalt, each turn of the pedal carrying me deeper into the shadows. The moon above watched with a detached gaze, its pale light offering little comfort against the encroaching darkness. With a bag slung over my shoulder, laden with orders from a place whispered of only in hushed tones, I was a lone voyager sailing into the abyss, venturing where others dared not tread. The city had a different face at night, a face that masked its secrets behind drawn curtains and locked doors. But I had the key to these secrets, a portal granted by a simple ring of the doorbell. A knock, a shiver, and the door would swing open, revealing hungry souls awaiting a taste of something more than just sustenance. Little did they know the price they paid reached far beyond the numbers on the receipt. The Nightfall Rider's journey was not for the faint-hearted. It was a plunge into the unknown, where the boundaries between the living and the beyond blurred like smudged ink on a page. As I weaved through the dimly lit alleys, an air of expectancy clung to me like a shroud, for every drop-off was a meeting with the enigmatic and the inexplicable. But on this particular night, as I neared the destination etched onto the parchment of my memory, a chill raced down my spine, and not just from the cool night air. Something was different. The address that emerged from the darkness held a presence. It beckoned me closer, promising a story that begged to be uncovered. As I approached the ominous address 13 Blackthorn Lane, the very ground seemed to hold its breath, waiting to exhale an unearthly tale. The house stood like a sentinel, a relic from an age untouched by time. The wind carried faint whispers, as if it were trying to warn me, to guide me away from the darkness that clung to the mansion's walls like a sinister veil. With a deep breath, I dismounted my bicycle and stared up at the ancient structure, my heart a pendulum swinging between trepidation and curiosity. The door, weathered and worn, beckoned me forward, its creak a siren's song that lured me into the unknown. As I stood on the precipice of what would become a night of unspeakable terror, I couldn't help but wonder if the Nightfall Rider would emerge unscathed, or if the horrors that lay beyond that door would etch their mark upon my very soul. For in the tale I'm about to recount, the line between reality and nightmare blurs, and the simple act of delivering sustenance unravels a feast of horrors beyond imagination. The threshold yielded to my hesitant push, and I stepped into the belly of the ancient mansion. My heart, that faithful drummer of life's rhythm, had transformed into a wild beast, thrashing against the cage of my ribs. The flickering candlelight served as a mere wisp against the suffocating dark, revealing just enough to torment my senses. Portraits adorned the grand hallway, echoes of lives long extinguished. Their eyes, like vacant windows into the abyss, bore into me as if yearning to share tales buried in the vaults of time. The weight of their gaze bore down on my trembling shoulders, and for a moment I thought I glimpsed a flicker of movement in the corners of my vision. "Hello?" The word emerged from my lips in a tremulous whisper, vanishing into the air as if swallowed by the void itself. No reply, save the cruel echo of my own voice, mocking my vulnerability. Determination wove a thin thread through my unease, and I followed the haunting instructions that led me to the dining room, a place cloaked in sinister lore. Before me lay a scene torn from the darkest recesses of a nightmare, a tableau that defied reason and sanity. The dining room, once a space of elegance and mirth, was now a gruesome spectacle, a symphony of decay. Plates laden with decayed remnants teemed with writhing maggots, a ghastly congregation feasting upon the rot. Putrid stench clashed with the scent of extinguished candles, a scent that clawed at the back of my throat, threatening to unleash the contents of my stomach. My retreat was involuntary, my senses betrayed by the nauseating sight. A chair, an unwitting victim of my distress, succumbed to my stumbling foot, its crash a dissonant chord in the symphony of dread. An oppressive silence descended, as if the very house held its breath in anticipation, awaiting the crescendo of my torment. Then, as if the fabric of reality itself had been torn, a frigid gust sliced through the room. Candles flickered and bowed before its icy breath, yielding to its dominion. Darkness surged like a rising tide, extinguishing the fragile flames one by one, until only the feeble glow of my trembling phone remained, a fragile guardian against the abyss. Whispers swirled, ephemeral tendrils of sound that slithered and coiled, emanating from the very walls, the essence of ethereal voices trapped between dimensions. A question, no, a demand, slithered through the air, spoken with the venom of a vengeful spectre. Who dares intrude upon our feast? The voice, disembodied and dripping with malevolence, gnawed at the edges of my sanity. My frenzied gaze darted, seeking the origin of this otherworldly accusation. But my eyes found only the twisted dance of the shadows, macabre marionettes pulling at the strings of my mind. Panic, a primal and all-encompassing force, surged within me, urging me to flee from this realm of terror. I turned, a guttural scream clawing its way from my throat, but the door slammed shut, an invisible hand sealing my fate. My prison was complete. Walls seemed to inch closer, squeezing my chest with a malevolent pressure that stole my breath. Emerging from the decaying banquet, a figure materialized, a macabre phantom sculpted from the very darkness that enveloped it. Its eyes were hollow voids, sucking in the feeble light like bottomless chasms. It moved with a chilling elegance, a dance of death choreographed by maleficent muses, its limbs contorting with a perverse grace. Paralyzed by fear's icy grip, I watched as the creature advanced, each step an echo of my heartbeats. Its maw, an abomination of twisted flesh, stretched open in a rictus grin, revealing rows of needles that glimmered in the dim light. Its voice slithered through the room, a sibilant melody that wormed its way into my mind, each note a cacophony of despair. You've delivered our sustenance, it crooned, a symphony of suffering that resonated within me. Now it's your turn to partake. Creature swallowed me whole, a maw of eternal darkness that devoured my consciousness. And so in the midst of that suffocating darkness I was lost. Time became a swirling vortex, an eternity of torment distilled into each agonizing moment. The creature's grip tightened, its tendrils of darkness penetrating my very being, a parasite feasting upon my fears. I tried to scream, but the sound was swallowed by the abyss, devoured by the malevolent void that had claimed me. Images of my life flickered before my eyes, moments of joy, love, and laughter, all tarnished by the encroaching despair. The laughter of friends, the warmth of sunlight, the taste of simple pleasures, they all became distant echoes drowned out by the symphony of suffering that now played on an infinite loop within my mind. The laughter of the creature reverberated, a mocking chorus that fused with my own torment. It whispered promises of release, a tantalizing escape from the abyss if only I would surrender completely. And in that desperate moment, as hope waned and sanity teetered on the brink, I made a choice to confront the darkness, to fight against the inexorable pull of despair. With a surge of defiance, I gathered the fragments of my shattered will and screamed, a primal cry that tore through the suffocating silence. The very fabric of the void quivered, as if startled by the force of my resistance. The creature's grip wavered, its hold weakened by my newfound resolve. And then a spark, a glimmer of light in the pitch-black abyss. It was a memory, a single moment of clarity amidst the chaos. The faces of those I loved, their smiles, their unwavering support. With every ounce of strength left within me, I clung to that memory, using it as a lifeline to claw my way back from the brink. The creature's wails crescendoed, a symphony of fury that reverberated through the void. But I pushed forward, my will a blazing beacon in the darkness. The grip on my soul began to loosen, tendrils of darkness retracting like wounded serpents. The creature's form began to waver, its wraith-like figure disintegrating like smoke on the wind. And then, as if shattered by the force of my defiance, the darkness shattered. The abyss receded, replaced by a faint glimmer of light. I stumbled forward, gasping for air as reality reasserted itself, the mansion's walls and the putrid feast fading like a fevered dream. As my senses returned, I found myself standing on the threshold of the cursed mansion, the night air cool against my sweat-drenched skin. The bag of orders lay at my feet, untouched and undisturbed, a stark reminder of the reality I had returned to. And so, dear reader, the Nightfall Rider's journey had taken me to the brink of despair, to the precipice of oblivion, and I had emerged not unscathed. So when you next hear the whisper of hunger in the dead of night, and the desire for delivery grips your soul, remember the tale of the Nightfall Rider.